I auditioned 7 times.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What is up, my wonderful YouTube friends? Today I'm going to be doing a video on what it was like to work at the happiest place on earth. This is something I get asked a lot. A lot of people don't know that I used to work at Disneyland, but I did. I worked there from 2014 to 2015 or 2016, I believe, like a good year and a half. My job was a character performer. I have some questions that I get asked a lot here on my phone, so I'm just going to go through each and every one of them. And if there are still questions that I have not addressed, feel free to comment them below. I'll try to answer as much as I can without making this video too long. And I also want to keep it light and professional. I do respect the Walt Disney Company, and I don't necessarily want to ruin the magic for some people. Try to get in depth without ruining too many things for you guys. And I still have a lot of friends that work for the company and at the resort, and I don't really want to ruin things for them. Okay, so first off, how did you get your job at Disney? Each position at Disney is very different, and the application process for whatever you're going for is going to be different. Because I wanted to be in the entertainment department, I had to audition. I auditioned 7 times.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Before I got the job that I wanted. It's super competitive. The Disneyland resort is a lot smaller. I feel like there's just a lot of actors, actresses, models, performers, theater people out here, so the competition is humongous. I went to my audition. You got to arrive early because you are one of 500 to 700 people. I don't know, the lines get crazy. You can be there for hours. Honestly, you have to be persistent. There are some people who get super lucky and they get the role right away that they're looking for, and if you're like me, you have to show up a couple of times. Every entertainment audition is different depending on the role you're going for. They have auditions for parades, lookalikes, characters, certain shows, and each audition is different. One thing I learned, if you are interested in securing a job in the entertainment department, whatever you do at your audition, make yourself stand out. Don't be afraid to be extra.
Be dramatic.
Put yourself out there. What makes you different from the other 500 people standing in line to do the audition? It's really not for the faint of heart. Yes, again, some people are really lucky and they're very talented and they are able to get the job right away, but if you're like me, I have a gymnastics and a cheer background. I never really knew like improv or scripts. For me, it took a lot of practicing. They really fine-tune it when I did my training. It was a very detailed audition process. I think within my group, I ended up getting hired with only a handful of people. I'm not too sure. They separate the males and the females, so the males have their auditions, the females have theirs. They tell you specifically what they're looking for in that audition. I obviously didn't show up to like a Cinderella or a Tinkerbell audition. Specific on what they're looking for. Once you pass the audition, you fill out some paperwork at the very end. They give you a boarding date to when you start your orientation. And then the orientation process is about 3 days. You learn about the company, you do a tour in the parks as a cast member, and oh my gosh, this stuff just blew my mind. What goes on behind the scenes at the Disneyland resort is absolutely insane. Kind of just like rip the band-aid off during orientation process, and they're like, this is what it's like. Don't get me wrong, Disney made the orientation process extremely
magical, I guess you want to call it.
Felt very fortunate to be working there, especially because I know it took me 7 times auditioning to get that position that I wanted. I was in college working part-time as a food server. Really wanted to have a part-time job that would really relieve me of my stress at school. I wanted something fun. Disneyland was like 30 minutes from my school, and I knew I really wanted to work there, so for me it was really rewarding and surreal to be able to be a part of the magic, I guess you can say it. On to the next question. What are some benefits of working there? There are a lot of benefits of working at Disney. The pay, I'll admit, wasn't that great. They do give you a small raise every 6 months. I would say working there itself was sort of a draw. It wasn't necessarily the pay. Obviously, if you work for like corporate Disney, you're going to get paid a hell of a lot more than you would be just working in the parks. I believe at the time I was making slightly more than minimum wage in 2015. Some of the benefits include free access to the parks almost 365 days days a year. You have guest passes, so I was able to let my family and friends in whenever they wanted, and I did have to accompany them. I couldn't just let them in and have them wander off because you are responsible for those guests as a cast member. Other benefits, early access to certain rides, parks. So I remember when they redid Space Mountain, they shut it off from the public and let cast members, the guinea pigs, to test out the ride. In between breaks, sometimes I would go on the ride and then come back off and then work. Another really good benefit of working at Disney if you're into the entertainment department is you get in-house auditions. Disney holds public auditions, but they do also hold in-house auditions for existing entertainment members, and I think for other cast members too. You get to be considered first before a huge group of 500 public people. That was really nice. There's room to grow and room to earn other positions or other roles in the park. I'm trying to think of some other benefits. This one is super cool. You have free access to the Disney parks in other states and abroad. When I worked at Disney, I got free access to Disneyland Paris. Tell you, that was the coolest thing ever. I literally showed up with my cast member ID, and I think I also got discounts in Disneyland Paris. And let me tell you, when you're a college student traveling abroad and you're going to Disneyland Paris, that saves a lot of money when you're a cast member. That was the only park that I went to while I was a cast member. I've never been to the Florida one or any of like the Tokyo or Shanghai ones. Disneyland Paris, I'm gonna cut it there with the benefits. Did I meet any cool people or celebrities? Yes, I did. I didn't meet them as myself. I was in character. I met Matt Damon, Celine Dion. I saw Gwen Stefani. That's about it. What was the pay like? I already addressed that. A little more than minimum wage. What was my schedule like? My schedule was crazy with hours. It takes a lot of time to get ready, and it takes a lot of time to park and get to where you need to be because it's so massive there. There were times when I would have to wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, drive there, park, get on the shuttle, go to the costuming department, get my costume, get ready, go to my dedicated area for the day where I would be performing. I would start my workday at 3 o'clock in the morning and not be finished until 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I was making good money for being a part-time college student. I was getting good hours. I worked there probably 3 or 4 days out of the week. I think you could put your preference in, but they send you your schedule beforehand so you know the week ahead exactly who you're going to be, where your location is. Sometimes you have standby where you just show up, and if someone calls in sick that day, then you fill in for that person. So Disney kept me busy. They worked my butt off. How do you know which characters you'll get to be when working at Disneyland? This is all very dependent on your body type, your height. If you're going for a look-alike performance, of course, your features should match the person you're auditioning for. You'll know when you go audition, but costuming process is insane and very thorough. Never in my life have I been so
inspected.
It wasn't invasive at all. It was very cool. They measure everything from your fingertip to your forearm, from your fingertip to your shoulder, or nose to your forehead. They take photos of you. You go in a body scanner. Disney has it down to the T. And that was one thing that I really could appreciate about Disney, is because each and every costume that you're approved for, that you're going to be friends with, you are not a Disney character, you are friends with Disney characters, is all subject to your measurements and what you qualify for. Say the audition process is more so, do you have the personality? Are you the right fit for these characters? And then when you go into Disney, they measure you and figure out exactly what you're eligible for. Some costumes you might be approved for, but seasonally you might be not approved for because of the weight of the costume. You might be approved for summertime characters and not winter characters because your body can't handle the heavy winter costumes. Extremely thorough. What were some of your most magical moments? You know, like, so many years have passed by, digging up like a time capsule right now.
And I'm getting emotional.
I would say one of the most memorable moments was there was a guest that would come overseas every couple of months. She remembered me all the time, and she would always bring me a gift from the park with my character or friend image on there or name, and she always got so excited to see me. And I just thought it was so sweet that someone from across the world came to the Disneyland resort, and it meant so much to her to see this Disney character. I was a part of that. Some people it might seem kind of minuscule, like if you have an annual pass and you go all the time, but for some people going to Disney is a big vacation, or they save up all their money to go there. And she was one of the girls who just absolutely had a love for Disney. She actually would remember me every time I came. That was super sweet to me. It's very near and dear to my heart to this day, and it just goes to show what kind of impact you can have on people. Other amazing things that I saw were proposals. Sad to say, but some people go there and they weren't in the best health condition, and them meeting you made their absolute day. Some people go to Disney for the food, the rides, the shows. Some people, little kids, meeting the Disney characters or performers really brought to life the park and the movies. So for me to be able to be a part of that was really something special. One other super random thing that I loved and enjoyed was getting there in the parks very early, and sometimes I had to walk through the park to get to where I needed to be before it was open. It was just beautiful walking through an empty Disneyland resort, just being able to soak it in. If you're not a Disney fan, you might not really understand what the big deal is walking through an amusement park by yourself. For me, I had a lot of special memories there, association, visiting the park with family and creating certain memories. So for me to be able to walk through an empty Disneyland when usually it's packed with hundreds of thousands of people every day, also really special for me. I'm going to answer this last question and call this video a wrap. Working there ruined the magic. You hear that kid yelling outside? I wouldn't say it necessarily ruined the magic, because I knew what I was getting into when I was going to be a part of the magic as a character performer. Backstage isn't all pretty. It's definitely not like the parks. I wouldn't say it ruined the magic. If anything, it was so awesome to be a part of the entertainment department and know what goes on behind the scenes. However, I will say that dealing with hundreds of people every day face to face can be very exhausting. And then on top of that, I had friends and family who wanted to go into the park, and I had to be there to accompany them. It really takes a toll on you, and I loved it so much for the first year. But once it was approaching the time when I decided to leave, I didn't want to go into the parks as much. I needed a break from Disney after working there. I think I went a while without my annual pass, and even now to this day, I love going to Disneyland, but for me it has to be an occasion, a birthday, best friend visiting from out of state. I don't go there occasionally like I would in college all the time. I wouldn't say it necessarily ruined the magic. I was burnt out from working at Disney, but I would absolutely love to go to Disney World, Tokyo Disney, Shanghai Disney. I would love to go back to Disneyland Paris. I still love the Walt Disney Company, and I think I would definitely work for them again. Maybe not in the parks, but if I had an opportunity to partner with them or work in corporate, I would absolutely take that kind of opportunity. I had so much fun making this video and reminiscing on all my Disney memories, but don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. I'll catch you guys again.